up guys, it's Ryan Ho back with another video. Today I want to review the Eksa EM500. Now this mouse was sent out to me by Eksa, so thank you for sending out the mouse to review. And this is a RGB gaming mouse that's really lightweight at 68 grams, and I actually genuinely like this mouse a lot. I played a lot of games on it and it performed really adamantly well. And I want to talk to you guys about just how this mouse performs, and I'll compare it to a Logitech wired mouse as well as a Razer wired mouse, so you kind of get a feeling of how it compares. And yeah, so stay tuned for the video, and please like and subscribe down below because it helps my videos out. All right, so let's unbox the Eksa EM500, the Superlight gaming mouse. And actually it tells you how much it weighs. On the back it weighs 68 grams, so it's pretty light. And let's check it out. Interesting packaging. Take this out. This color scheme reminds me of like Gundam, except there's no red on it, but if there's red, this would be like a Gundam color. All right, so let's talk about the build quality of this mouse. So we have this nice braided cable over here. It's kind of has this white and like yellow aesthetic. I wish it had some red in there so it'd be like all the way Gundam, but I really like this kind of color scheme. You can hear the clickiness of each of these mouses. It's pretty clicky, and then you feel the scroll wheel. It's also a button you click. And then the side buttons as well, it has two side buttons. They have nice tactile kind of click. So this is actually a matte plastic on top, right? And then this side is actually kind of a little bit more grippier than the top. And so it kind of helps you kind of grip on your mouse more. Now I don't really know the function of this triangle thing right here. I'm not sure why it's there. I just think it kind of pops out in the aesthetic a little bit. I don't really like this triangle. I think it looks very clean without it, but with the triangle it kind of just stands out a lot. And then towards the bottom we have the button that changes your RGB modes, and then the laser, and then obviously this cutout hole for like to give the mouse a little bit lighter feel, right? And then this just wonderful looking RGB that really just looks really cool. And I really like that aesthetic about this mouse. All right, so I have the mouse plugged in, so it has its own kind of RGB mode that you can adjust, but the scroll wheel actually doesn't light up, so that's something worth noting. So that's the typical left and right buttons. And then we have the, this is actually DPI button, so increase and decrease over here. And then we also have a side button, so you know, the typical two left buttons. And then under this we have the RGB button, so that changes the RGB illumination. So it can't be a gaming mouse without RGB. All right, so let's go over the RGB modes it has actually. So there's actually 7 modes, right? So the first one is the RGB streamer mode, and then we'll go down the line. I actually tried this color changing tail light. It's kind of cool. So the first one we have the RGB streamer. I kind of like this mode the most, I think. It's really cool as it kind of cycles left to right. Then the next mode we have, this is the monochromatic breathing light. I think it's okay. It's not my favorite. It just flashes yellow. This one is the neon light. I kind of like this mode because it kind of slowly changes color and kind of moves very slowly, but subtle changes in color as it goes down the RGB spectrum. Next one, this is the color changing tail light. So you kind of see it just kind of does this, but really quickly. I think it maybe moves a little too fast for me, but somebody else might like this one. And this one is the interesting one. This is the button tail light. So everything's off, but if I click my buttons, then they'll start changing the colors, as you can see. So the bottom colors change as you click. So yeah, it's a very interesting one. It's kind of cool. Then moving on, we have the lightning breathing light. It's another breathing one that kind of flashes. Does it change color while it flashes? or it's just yellow. I feel like I see almost a green coming along, but yeah, it just flashes yellow. So it's all right. And then the last one is just switch off and it starts all over again. All right, so I brought two other mouses to compare that I think are kind of very similar. So this is the Deathadder, the Razer Deathadder. That's really well known. This is a Logitech G403, and then this is the EM500, right? The Superlight. So the first thing we can do is actually just test the weight. This is obviously with a little bit of a cable. It's not the most scientific test because the cable does add a little weight, but this is 97 grams. This is 72, so this is actually a lot lighter than the Deathadder. And then this is the Logitech, so 92. So with the EM500 being marketed as a lightweight mouse, I do think it is actually a lightweight mouse. It's almost 20 grams lighter than the rest, and that's quite a significant amount less weight than the other mouses, so it definitely holds up in that regard. Now, the shape of this mouse, I actually really like the shape of this mouse, surprising. And the thing is, I actually think it might be better than these two mouses in some respects, because the first thing I noticed about the Razer mouse is that the Razer mouse has this huge hump right here. Like, this thing is massive, okay? Versus like the other mouses don't have as big of a kind of elevation right here. And that makes a difference for my hand, at least, because I feel like that's the part that makes this mouse not kind of jive with me or not comfortable. So I don't really use this mouse as much. And then this is actually my first mouse that I've ever bought, my first gaming mouse. And this came in at like 60 bucks. And I don't know, over time, my grip kind of changed. And I mean, you can even see like how much I used it. Like, you can see how worn out it is over here, because I use this mouse for a very, very long time. Like, you can just see all of it being worn out. But this thing has a very high bump right here in the back, and that kind of starts irritating my palm. I don't know why. Like, when I first got this mouse, I thought it was perfect, but then after a while, I think my grip changed over time. And that's the thing that I noticed about this mouse, is that it doesn't have that huge hump right here. At least I don't feel this gigantic hump right there, and I feel like that also makes this mouse like a little bit more comfortable. I feel like this mouse is actually the happy medium between these two mouses. It's less like, I guess, edgy. It's more smooth overall in its shape. And obviously all three of these mouses are actually made for right-handers. And I mean, you can tell by difference in RGB. Like, I don't actually have enough USB plugs to make this light up, but this lights up right here. And then obviously lights up right on there. And then this one has its RGB over here, and this has this this huge strip down here. And we see the other side of these mouses too. You kind of see the difference. Like, this actually lights up, and I think they cut out holes to make it lighter, but you can also see the RGB kind of go through it, so that's kind of cool as well. Now let's talk about kind of the buttons and the functionality. So all these mouses are very similar in that sense too, is that they all have side buttons, they all have the middle buttons, scroll wheels and everything, and they all even have like DPI buttons. So you can kind of adjust every single one that way. Now, what's interesting is the clicking of each mouse. I think you can hear the difference of these, but I'm gonna do the EM500 first. And then if you listen to the Logitech one, it's a lot less muted and a lot less loud compared to the other one. And then here is the Razer. The Razer is a little bit more damped than the EM500. The EM500 is probably the clickiest, while this one is definitely the most silent. And the other thing is the switches between the Razer and the EM500 are more similar to me. They kind of require a little bit more kind of distance travel, while the Logitech is a lot shorter. So I feel like when I'm clicking really fast, I can click the Logitech one a lot faster. The difference is very small, but I notice that when I'm playing like shooting games, if I'm rapid clicking, I do click other ones a little bit faster. And yeah, it's overall a really great recommendation from me, and I really do hope people enjoy this mouse as much as I did.
Planted.
Reloading. Careful now.
Is there anyone playing?
Embarrassing.
I haven't even got one.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
So I play a lot of games with this mouse. So my first game of Valorant I played, I actually like popped off with like over 20 plus kills in the first ranked game of the season for Valorant. And I was like, damn, the first time using this mouse and I did really, really well. So yeah, it's definitely a pretty accurate and kind of tracks really well. And the thing I actually noticed too about this mouse is like the feet of this mouse are really, really nice. Like they glide really smoothly and very fast across the surface of my mouse pad. Definitely glides more than my actual mouse I use nowadays because maybe my current Logitech G Pro wireless, maybe my feet are getting a little old, but these feet really glide really fast and smoothly. I noticed that as like kind of exceptional about these feet. And it does have, like I said, it makes it really nice to playing shooting games. Now I also played like basically like 12 hours to like 15 hours of Monster Hunter. And the Monster Hunter Rise, the new game, and I beat the whole campaign basically on this mouse as well. And it was really just overall good. It functioned well. I had no problem. There was no like disconnecting or glitchy issues. It was a smooth travel the whole entire time. And honestly, yeah, I really can't say much else about this mouse except I really, really like it. I know they had a red one, not a red one, but like, I think it's like a red and black one, but I would definitely go for the white aesthetic. I think it looks really nice and clean as like a whole package, and it's definitely my favorite color of the ones they have.
Spike drop.
Your mommy teach you manners.
Smoke's down.
No, your mommy did.
Spike drop.
Are you not using it?
Target down. Stim beak.
So in conclusion, do I recommend this mouse? I definitely do. With the combination of a lightweight package, nice clean looking aesthetics, it's nice feet gliding around, it's really good buttons, and overall just a nice comfortable feel. There's really nothing for me to really complain about this. I actually genuinely like a lot, and I was playing games on it, like I said, and I did really well. So I definitely recommend this mouse. And yeah, for $25, it's honestly a really good deal, especially when other mouses are retailing for about 60 bucks around this kind of category of wired mouse. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe down below. It really helps my videos out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.